As Igoda, we were tasked to provide content as to what it is that makes KwaZulu Natal, in particular the fashion space, different from the rest of the provinces in the country, in Africa and in the rest of the world. We're very proud that we are able to present a very rich perspective in the fashion space, which is informed by a very grounded sense of identity, informed by the culture and religion in this province. The fashion film, again, was so layered beautifully because it did not become one-dimensional. It was three-dimensional in a sense that not only did it showcase KZN, which is KwaZulu Natal, our very proud, warm province, as an advanced yet grounded province in terms of fashion, hair, makeup, models. All of those perspectives were carefully curated to tell a beautiful story that is proudly KZN.
I love designing for men. Hence why my collection includes mostly menswear. I love the formal look on men. I can design for any category, but I mostly stick to menswear. Men are more willing to pay for the quality of the product without questioning it.
I would like to regard ourselves as different, or how we're different from any other brand is our selection on fabrication and our articulation in detail. We customize bridal wear and special occasions wear, from your matric dance to red carpets to wedding gowns. I'm inspired by a lot of things, people around me, where I come from. On a daily, I'm inspired by my customer. They direct me on where I should take them. And mostly I'm inspired by people that make a difference in any way, be it the way they dress, be it the way they speak. As long as they move me in a way, then I am inspired.
So the day I open a shop in Lagos, I'll think that will be success number one. So when we have another one in Paris, it will also be a success. So the more we are able to sell, or we more visible in the international market, for us it will be success. The rest is history. We're very proud of what we do. We know that our shoes are beautiful, they fit well, they're well made, they last, they're not going to disappoint. So we're happy about that part. But success is to give us the market. The government supports us. We employ people. There are less people on the street, and we'll be more. We'll earn dollars, forex, which is it's a win-win thing. We are set for export. We are an export kind of brand. We're not trying to. It's not a hobby what we do. Success for us would be making our projects a success in a sustainable way. We want to get into big markets.
I'll begin explaining the first look from my collection. My first look was ibeshu, animal skin, and a waistcoat. I used ibeshu because it's the standard traditional attire for most Zulu men, and I added a waistcoat for a modern twist. In my second look, I had a skirt and a shirt. The skirt comes from the uniform they wear when they attend Umgidi, traditional dance. They wear black skirts. I wanted my skirts to be compatible to everyone, so I designed them with a Scotch textile print. In my third look, there are pants and a shirt. This look was inspired as a basic look for everyday use, an outfit that anyone can wear even when they are coming back from church. My story, I would say, started when I was about to draw and thought to myself, what story am I telling? And I was inspired by my church. I am part of the Nazareth Baptist Church. I narrowed my idea down to menswear. Specifically, the church attire worn by men. And my idea was to create an item that could be worn by anyone and everyone. My dream as a designer is to create a high-quality brand that is popular and well-known. My definition of success is when I can help other designers rise and create a society where South Africa's designers are also internationally recognized for their work. Our designers must also be among the top designers in the world. Make South Africa's designers a household name.
My dream for my brand would be the first brand that comes to mind whenever a woman feels the need to transform herself into a better version of who she wants to be or how she wants to present herself. Whenever you have a special occasion, that should come to mind. Whenever you have a celebration, that should come to mind. Anything that is good that is happening around a woman on a daily basis, that should be the name on their mouth and in their mind. This is a capsule collection that is taken from different collections that I've had. From look one, okay, this dress in particular, it was hand beaded. It was taken from our Zulu skirt called isidwaba, which is worn by married women. It was beaded by my local ladies from KwaZulu Zululand, and you can see the pleating on it symbolize the Zulu skirt, our traditional Zulu skirt, and the beadwork brings the luxury of each and every panel that is on the dress. Look two, I love this dress in particular because black is our color of dignity, and I love how it kind of hides and shows empty spaces on it, which reveals the sensuality of a woman and is dignified enough, and the detailing on it, the ruffles that are fragile and are delicate, and it has a strong neckline. And then look number three, I love this in particular because it represents one of our very beautiful animal, a zebra, which stands out in any way. Wherever you see a zebra, you can't help but just to look and stare. I like how at the back it can be very flattering to the physique of a woman. and how I took the tail of the zebra and made it our tassel at the bottom of the dress. This is one of my favorite pieces. This piece in particular represents the landscapes of where I come from. In Zululand, we have red sands, and I love how it moves and cascades throughout the seasons of the year. And I love how we reach on stones as a country. And this is a very personal garment as well. I love this because it reminds me of a little girl that hasn't been touched. The purity of the white on the dress and the flirtatious yet not so revealing skirt. It reminds me of Ichichi, like a pure girl from the village. Look 5. This one was also done by the ladies from my village. It is also a very lovely take on our plant. The aloe in where I come from is one of the trees that grow around the area. So I took this from the aloe in the area and I added a flirt scape. This is also very nice and flirtatious. I believe you'll get to a point of satisfaction when you are dead and you've made a mark. I don't think we get tired of becoming a better version of who we are. Advice for upcoming design, it's not really as glamorous as it appears. It is very fast-paced. You need to be a fast thinker, and pressure should entertain you, and you'll never feel like you're working a day in your life.
Zetu in Zulu is a Zulu word that means hours. So Zetu is kind of a protest name to reclaim our spot, you know, in the business of shoemaking in Durban and in South Africa. Okay, well, I've got the main collection, what you call a classic collection, is a typical Zulu aesthetic design with colorful metal studs and the zigzag pattern which you see all around Durban. If you go on the streets of Durban in the traditional setting of craft market, you'll find a lot of this type of aesthetic. So we're very proud of this one. We call it the classic. It comes in black and blues and white. Well, we've got big dreams for Ifele. You know, our dream is to be in the global market. We want to be in all the cities in Africa. We want to be in London, Paris, and New York. You know, right next to some of the other heritage brands that other designers of the world have been able to sell. Because basically we're selling our culture. You know, we're saying this is our culture nicely packaged, you know, not as a charity case or as a some kind of disaster case. So yeah, so that's our dream. You know, if I can do that while I'm alive, I would have achieved what I've set out to do. The biggest obstacle for any business is usually the financing of big projects. You know, there's not many finance companies that are willing to risk their own money into this type of business. But it's something that we enjoy to break as well, you know, to break that myth. So it's taking longer to do certain things that we'd like to do quicker. So that's a frustration. But I think as we've also had our successes that surprised us. I think there's an appetite for what we do outside South Africa. So that's a very big success. Aspiring creatives must work hard. They must study hard and take your business very seriously. I think that's very important. And forget about trying to get short-term successes or Instagram fame or anything like that. That I think most people get very hung up about. I think the most important thing is to perfect your product, do your research, you know your customer, you know, take time to understand what they need, and you know the rest is history. As they always say.
The newly built Umkhumbane Museum is yet to be launched. We're very privileged to have access to it. Thank you to Parks and Recreation, Mr. Snoti Tabete, for giving us access to this phenomenal, groundbreaking project that the city has engaged in, acknowledging the very historical site. So we've got to work in this very sacred space where our king's mother was laid to rest and given a dignified tombstone. We then looked at also what was iconic in terms of architecture and modern thinking. We chose the Umkhumbane Museum, which is newly built, beautiful aesthetic and textures and color that is evidently African, but yet appealing to the modern and global space. The first location that was used to present the collection by Jabu, we chose Beechwood Mangrove, which is a very protected site where it's organic and it's looked after by the officials under the Parks and Recreation. To balance the scale, we also identify another established designer who's also very much embedded in his Zulu culture, however has managed to do amazingly well in the fashion space by creating beautifully elegant and feminine garments with that very subtle and postmodern beading that is informed by her culture, which is Zulu beading. I am the art director stroke creative director of Igoda Fashion Incubator. We seek to empower the young learners, not necessarily the young learners, anybody who is interested. Due to our past as a country, we will know that some of the learners have missed the opportunity to learn. As a result, some of our learners are as old as 65-year-olds, all the way to the youngest being the 18-year-old. This is what makes us different. Our learning criteria or rather screening in accepting the student is based on the student's interest and ability to learn. As a result, we are able to give them an opportunity to empower them, ignite and unleash their creativity so that they are able to perform to their best potential.
My relationship with Igoda, when I arrived here, they welcomed me with open arms. I became part of the family and they taught us about everything design related. They taught us about applied designs, cutting rooms, quality, pattern making, technical drawing. They even had us participate in a show. The show involved intense research with storyboards, mood boards, and design drawing to help us learn better. That is how Igoda took me in and guided me.
We then again are able to identify the entire sector, where we looked at the shoemaking, we looked at jewelry. Again, all these perspectives were carefully chosen on the basis that they are doing very well in the fashion space and they are also grounded in their culture. They are offering something that is fresh, interpreting fashion perspective in terms of color, texture, and silhouette, inspired by their culture, the Zulu culture.